Ladies and gentlemen, use a professional fundraising auctioneer. A professional fundraising auctioneer knows how to engage your audience and turn them into bidders by politely pushing for one or two or three more bids. He or she can read the bidders and knows when to sell and when to keep going. Also, a professional is an expert in doubling down on items that can be sold twice, essentially doubling your money for that item. Knowing when to adjust increments and when not to is key to maximizing each item's value. With a professional at the helm, you can have the confidence in knowing your auctioneer will adjust increments at the correct time. It's so important to keep the pace of the auction moving, not only because your guests will get impatient and tune out, but it creates urgency. And urgency creates competition, which in turn results in a higher price. A professional fundraising auctioneer won't get boring. They have vast experience reading crowds and know when to use humor and wit at the right time. Controlling an audience of 200, 300, 500 people or more is a task in itself, and you can be assured that a professional will be ready for the challenge. I can confidently say that a seasoned professional fundraising auctioneer will double or more what a volunteer or inexperienced auctioneer will bring in. Did you know that a recent Cygnus donor survey found that 44% of donors said they could have given more than they actually did? This is a scary statistic, and we believe the solution is simple. You must build a winning timeline, have several different opportunities and ways to give at your event, and finally, have a professional fundraising auctioneer at the helm. You certainly do not want nearly half of your guests leaving your event feeling like they could have given more. Warning, volunteer auctioneers. Volunteer auctioneers will lose you money, not save you money. Volunteers or inexperienced auctioneers do not have all of the proper qualifications, experience, and training that we have discussed, which will result in far less revenue at your event. By investing in a professional, you can be assured that your results will be maximized. Volunteers simply are not trained and may get on stage and embarrass you, your event, and your donors. You want a professional representing your organization that you and your colleagues have built through hard work and love when it truly counts. I'm now going to turn it over to the 2013 California State Ringmen champion, Connie Waddell.
Thank you, Mike. As a graduate of the Professional Ringmen's Institute, located in Springfield, Missouri, I know that engaging professional ringmen is a surefire way to knock your auction revenue out of the park. Perhaps you're wondering what in the world is a professional ringman? Well, we are sometimes called professional bid spotters, and I think maybe that better describes, at least in part, what our role is. We are the highly trained eyes and ears for the auctioneer. Now, in my organization, I like to have my ringmen at the venue at least 30 to 45 minutes prior to the auction. I want them walking amongst the guests, taking the opportunity to introduce themselves. And what I believe that does is it puts the audience at ease once the auction begins and the ringmen move throughout the crowd, eliciting and acknowledging bids. Obviously, the ringman is there during the auction, serving as a communication link and the eyes and ears for the auctioneer. And then I always encourage my ringmen following each item being sold to thank the winning bidder, and if time allows, thanking the second place bidder as well. I hope you've all experienced a live auction and realize how much fun and how exciting it is. But I can tell you that when you use a professional ringman and when they are involved in your live auction, the energy level grows and grows. We serve as a communication link between your guests and your auctioneer. As a professional ringman, oftentimes we see bidders that are a bit confused about where the bid is or what exactly are we bidding on. The bidder might know it's a trip, but they're not sure if it's for 6 nights or 7 nights, or whether or not it includes airfare. And as a professional ringman, we instinctively, obviously through experience, know when a bidder is confused or questioning what might be going on, and we can quickly address those questions or concerns. Because I can surely tell you that a confused bidder is a non-bidder. Okay, let's talk about cost. I know many of you are thinking to yourself, we don't need to spend money for a professional ringman. We have volunteers. I can tell you that a professional ringman can most often generate just one more bid. Now, what's the real value of that? Well, think about this. What if the bidding is for an item that is going up in increments of $1,000? And the ringman is able to get your bidders to bid just one more time? I feel confident in telling you that a professional ringman will add 10 to 15% or perhaps even more directly to your bottom line. Now, as your consultant, we will be able to advise you based on the number of guests expected just how many ringmen are needed at your event. Thank you for letting me talk about professional ringmen. And with that, I turn the presentation back to Mike.
Thank you so much for viewing this webinar.
We hope you've enjoyed this presentation and have found it informative. We invite you to watch the other webinars available here on our website.